Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Happy Monday. I'm gonna let some people join before I get started. I'm gonna let some people join before I get started. See this natural hair? I've been trying to get better with styling my natural hair. So, I don't know. Hey Mia, trying to embrace this natural hair of mine and do some different styles and embrace this gray I got coming in. It's all part of me, so I'm gonna love it. Welcome back, Mia. Happy you can join. I said I was gonna wait. Oh, thank you. And let some more people come in before I get started. Hey, everyone. I waited on you all before I got started. So, happy Monday, beautiful people. Welcome back to Conversations with Cree. One thing that I have not been doing, that I'm going to start doing from now on, is asking you all to like, share, and subscribe. So, you can share with other people that you think may be interested in the platform. Join the conversation. Hey, everyone. Hey, Erica. Hey, Linda. Thank y'all all for being here. So, today's conversation is learning that change equals growth. I actually had a whole nother topic that I was going to touch on today, but for some reason, this just stood out to me, because I think right now a lot of us are dealing with change in our life, and that we should have at other points, but right now it's a lot of changes going on for so many people. So I definitely wanted to touch on learning that change equals growth. And the scripture, every week I have a scripture, and I'm not sure if I've used this scripture before, but it resonated with what we're talking about today. So if I've used it before, that's okay. I'm sure I will repeat scriptures as I go on. But this scripture today, and the scripture of the week, is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That one is a big one for me. And what the scripture means for me is that no matter what you might be going through or what may be going on in your life, because I have Christ walking with me every day. He is my strength when I am weak, and I can achieve all things and overcome all obstacles, I feel, because I'm not alone. He walks with me and he strengthens me on this journey in life. So that can resonate with so many people, I'm sure, because there's so much going on, like I said, in the world, and we feel helpless right now with a lot of situations. But I think just knowing that you have that strength of Christ, or just that higher thing that's bigger than you that you can look to, is very important right now, especially when it comes to change. But one thing I know, a lot of us are fearful when it comes to change, including myself. At times I used to be. These days I feel a little bit different, because I know that change equals growth, and we all should be striving to grow in our lives, in every aspect of life, in every space in our life. We should be wanting to grow, because if you're not growing, then you stand still, and that's not good. Change for so many people definitely can be scary, because when you're used to one way, and that's what you're accustomed to, then when things start to look different, and it's the fear, I think, and what's so scary is the fear of the unknown, not knowing what that looks like, what it's going to look like, having the answers to what's going to be next, because you have never done this before. It's change. But it doesn't have to be scary. It does not. And as humans, we always will, be scared or have fear, but you don't have to. Once you let go of that fear, and a lot of time it's ourselves that's causing the fears in our minds and our the things that we think may happen. But once you take the chance and actually embrace change, you will start to see that it's really not too much to be scared of. um, Learning to adapt to change is a big part of embracing it. So in life, things change all the time. From time that you were a young child to now, as an adult, you're always going to have changes. But one thing about as a child, you probably did not have too much control of what the changes were, because you live with your parents, you've been taken care of, so they pretty much navigated those changes for you. But as you become older, adolescents, a teen, that's when you start to really have more of a say and more independence in your life, and you navigate change according to what it looked like through your life, I'm sure. If change equaled trauma, or change equaled not good things, as an adult you internalize that, and now when change happened, you are looking at it from a place of maybe a negative place and not positive, because of the things that resulted because of change. um but that's a whole nother story. We have to learn um that adapting is part of life. We always will have to adapt to something, because there's always going to be changes in your life and things that happen that you must adapt to. And a lot of times I've seen that if you stay stuck and you're not changing, that's not good, because then you're not accomplishing things. You are just staying the same way. And we all need to experience growth in order to find success in life. Um, and like I said, change equals growth. Change equals growth. Um, if I can use an example of how that looks for me, anytime that I've stepped out and did things or changed any aspect of my life, it's always been for the better, for the most part. Now, I'm not going to say it's every single time, because you're going to try things or you're going to do things and it's not always going to work out, but you won't know if you will be successful or if it's going to work out if you don't do it. And with change, you will grow. Growth is important for every person, because as growth happens, then you start to realize things that you probably did not realize before, maybe about yourself. um, it's just very important. And I think so many of us stay stuck for so long because we doubt ourselves, or we have people doubting us, or we've had negative talk. When you maybe share something with individuals and they may talk you down or say, you can't do that, or why would you do that? Have you tried that? Have you seen what happened with this other person? But everybody has their own path in life, so we can't get stuck looking at what may have happened with the next person, because that's not our story, that's their story. So always remember that with change comes growth. And rather than resisting change, we should embrace it. Once you learn to embrace it, then I think you can be in a more positive mindset. When it comes to change, you want to always just go straight to being scared or having fear come in, because at that point you are having a positive mindset that, okay, this is happening, what can I do, to embrace it, to understand it, to know what I'm going to do with this change. And sometimes, like I said, everything is not in our control, especially what's going on in our country right now with all the things is, with the president, the new president, and maybe all those changes that's going on. A lot of us don't agree with it, but this point is out of our control directly, outside of, if however you voted or all those things. You can only do what you can do, so you can continue to use your voice. You can continue to, in the future, exercise your right to vote, and just learn legislation, research your local politicians and everything, how that affects you. But right now, with this, it's been big change in the last, since the 20th, and people are absolutely just losing it, or just so scared, or and I understand It's a lot of things going on. We don't know what's gonna happen, but um, we just gotta believe that everything will be okay, and you just continue to do what you can do for you and your family. Um, but once again, embracing change is the way to go. We don't try to fight it, because life, if you're living, if you're still breathing, you open your eyes in the morning, it's a possibility that change will happen, and you should embrace it, because change equals greatness. It equals good things, not always bad. And like I just said, it's a part of life. It just really is. If you're living and breathing, change will happen. But with, like I said, with change, it equals growth, and with growth, and it can create confidence within you. One thing that I've been doing is a lot of self work for some time now, and just really trying to figure out who I am as a person, going back over my life, healing from things that have caused me hurt people, forgiving people who I felt like has hurt me, because now I'm understanding that everybody has had things happen to them, and that it results in why they are the way they are. They may not even realize that they're hurting people, or know that they're not okay and they need to seek help or find a way to be a better person. But with the growth that I've had since going on this journey, and I'm gonna say becoming 40. When I turned 40, I just believe my life just pivoted for the better. But that was a mindset, because before I turned 40, I declared that my 40s was going to be the best time of my life, moving forward. And I'm declaring that even 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and if I'm blessed to see those ages, 90s, that it would just continue to get better and better. And my confidence has grown, because with changes that I've had over my lifetime, and what has developed from those changes, and me having the growth, has showed me that I am capable of a lot of things. And some of them is not easy, trying to do things differently and pursue different things and have successes. You will have some failures in life, and that's just part of it. But I didn't never ever let that stop me from pursuing more growth, embracing the changes that life brings. But my confidence is definitely building every time, or it's growing every time that I'm successful, or I try something, I step out of my comfort zone, and I have great success with whatever it is that I'm pursuing. So growth definitely can create confidence. Also, one thing that I've come to realize is that with change, it can bring with it a lot of opportunities, positive opportunities, great opportunities. A lot of times we put ourselves in a box, and we feel like, you know, I don't want to change what's not broken, or don't fix what's not broken. That's a lot of times what I say. I say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But that's really a coping mechanism for me being fearful of actually stepping out the box and actually coming out of my comfort zone to pursue other things. If it's not broke, don't fix it, will keep you stuck. That mentality will have you stuck. If I had thought that way all the years of my life, I don't know where I would be. 100%. It was always in the back of my mind, but I've always stepped out and done things. But a lot of times it was because I had no other choice, and I feel like it was God guiding me on this path to purpose. Because every aspect of my life from an early age, and I'm gonna even start at high school, the way everything played out, and I can go back and just look at certain things, how they played out. I had some disappointments because things didn't go my way, maybe when it came to pursuing something I wanted to do, such as hair back then, the military, how that didn't work out, how I had, wanted to do, or I had envisioned it when I first signed up, to just so many other things. It was because that wasn't my path then, and I needed to have other experiences in life up until this point, which was preparing me for the next steps. And every time that I embrace changes, or I just was able to pursue things that I normally wouldn't have because of whatever was going on in my life, I had to, has gotten me to a point now where the changes that are happening are minimal compared to back then because of situations, but more of the choices I'm making for myself, if that makes sense. The opportunities that have been presented, even sometimes back then or at the time when these opportunities are presenting themselves, maybe I didn't even know they were opportunities, but me just being able to embrace the change and wanting to grow, now I can see how those was opportunities, and I'm glad that I was able to take advantage of them because it allowed me to have success in so many areas of my life because I embraced change and I stepped out of my comfort zone and I was able to grow. So it all goes hand in hand. It's all about evolution, it's all about elevation, it's all about being or trying to become who God has called us to be. And one thing, I have this conversation a lot with my clients, and with people in general, is that at a certain age, you should know certain things, or you should be growing as a person the older you get. You should not be the same person. Like, I'm 43. I should not be the same person I was at 23 or 33. And when I turn 53, I should not be the same person I am at 43. Because with change, with life, and with growth, and with change, you are elevating. You should be having, learning lessons from life where that you learn and you develop in a way where you see things differently, where you pay attention to where things went wrong or they're not working and you adjust to it. It just really makes me sad to see people who are of a certain age, they're still doing the same things and not good things. They're stuck, just dealing with so many bad situations, dealing with people that no longer serves them, or just not being able to teach the next generation because they haven't learned. And that is big right now because so many children are being failed right now in life because of the adults that they have to look up to. They don't have good role models. They don't have the people in their lives that's going to show them the way to go. So they're looking at what these people are doing wrong, and that's what they are seeking or becoming because they don't have anybody better to learn from. And that's part of why social media, I feel like, is so dangerous, because our young kids are looking up to people that don't necessarily got it together, or they're living a certain lifestyle that's not good, and our children are definitely taken from this. And our generation is this younger generation is really getting the brunt of that negativity in society when it comes to just this, social media, the internet, TikTok. It's a big thing right now, of course, because everybody was just losing it because they thought it was going away, and it may still go away if they can't figure out what they're trying to figure out with it. I'm not on TikTok. I never have downloaded the app. Something in me just wouldn't allow me to do it. I'm not saying it's good, not good, or it's just totally bad, but I know that it's been proven to not be a good thing for young children. That's been proven. But I do understand that so many people say, oh, thank you, Mia. I think so many people have said, they learn so much on TikTok. So many things they've learned how to do, from cooking to the books to read to how to fix things. And I absolutely know if I would have ever downloaded that app that I would have been stuck too. And that was my whole reason for not downloading it, is because I know me, and when it comes to social media, and right now I'm trying to get off of Facebook, and I'm on Instagram, but that's mainly for my business page. But I just did not want one more thing that could take my time away from me. And I absolutely knew that TikTok would be one of those things, especially watching people that they sit in my chair and they just on TikTok the whole time. I mean, not taking a break. And I'm just like, wow, that's just, I don't need that in my life. But I also see how it could be beneficial to me with content creating and the tools that they provide with editing and just being able to get in front of people and build an audience. But my decision was just not to get on there. So at this point, I just feel like we need to monitor our kids a little bit better when it comes to social media. And I know that's hard because they grow up with it from babies. We are putting phones and tablets in these babies' hands at an early age. And it's okay sometimes if it's educational, if you're monitoring it, but a lot of people are not. And their kids are being exposed to so much that they shouldn't be exposed to. And they're learning from the social media platforms what they should be learning from their parents. But I can preach and preach about that, and that's not what this live is about. So I digress. But once again, I'm saying all that to say that as we grow older, we definitely should be changing for the better. Okay, so stepping out of your comfort zone is definitely parts of change and growth. I can't preach enough about how, like I said, me stepping out of my comfort zone has helped me to grow, and how many opportunities I have received by doing so, or how many things that I have, how much success I have had by doing so. And I would talk more about that in a little bit. But then another speaking point I want to touch on is growth equals elevation. Change equals growth, and growth equals elevation. I think all of us should be striving to elevate to the next level as a person, as a human being. Elevating to the next level in life is so important for so many people. If you're not elevating, then you're just staying stuck. You're just staying where you are. You're just here. You're not learning anything new. You're not trying any new things. You're just stuck in your ways and your mindset. And a lot of times that's dangerous because they're not always the best way to be, or your mindset or things are not good. So, and what I see this, and I'm not trying to just call out people, but I see this mindset or this not elevation, people not elevating more in like the older generation, like the people that learned something or learned things back before our time, I'm gonna say, and they grew up not having the support and not having the knowledge of the things we have now. And so you can give those people grace. They grew up in a time where the information was not available. It was a lot of racism, systematic things put in place during slavery, after slavery. It just was not available. So they know what they know, and so they are stuck in those mindsets. But the people, us of today, we have no excuses not to be elevating. There's so much information out here that if you want to learn, you can. Just seeing other people's perspectives, learning that your way is not always the best way. Communicating with each other, getting to know and understanding perspectives. It really helps with growth and elevation among people. We need to get out our own ways, get out our egos, and understand that you're not always gonna be right. And even if everyone has a different opinion or they believe something else, it's very healthy to have conversations and not just always to prove your point, but just to understand the next person. And that's growth, that's elevation. In so many ways, I've tried to elevate at every stage of my life where I seen that it was possible. Don't get me wrong, it's situations and times where I stayed stuck for way too long, just mainly because of fear of things, or not knowing what the future holds, or where what it would look like. But the more that I step out of my comfort zones and actually try to do different things and actually had success, it gave me confidence. And that's what I was talking about before. change can build confidence, and growth builds confidence to be able to do and try it again the next time when an opportunity presents itself. Because honestly, I'm a person who doesn't like change. I can get really comfortable, but what I have learned is only when I have stepped out of my comfort zone is when I have experienced the most growth and success. My whole life is an example of that. With change comes growth. And one of the biggest things that I can like recently think about when it comes to stepping out of my comfort zone and actually doing something that has benefited me, and I don't regret it at all, is traveling alone. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people travel alone and solo, but that was not my story. I didn't ever travel alone until maybe, I think 2018 was my first time ever traveling alone. I'm talking about getting on a plane and going to a different state and being by myself. One thing that I've learned is that I had never been alone in my life. I've never had to really be by myself. So from the time I, was born, you have your parents. And then I moved out of my mom's house at 19, but at that point I had a child. And I moved into my own place with that child, and then my significant other at the time, and then my sister joined me. And then from there, I always had someone with me. And when I met my husband, we started traveling together. And that was the first time I really traveled outside of, going to basic training. Basic training, that kind of was a solo trip, but I wasn't by myself. I actually was with other soldiers the whole time, and other people that was, going to basic training, so I don't think that counts. But 2018 was the first time I ever stepped out of my comfort zone and actually went somewhere by myself. It was very nerve-wracking. I was so nervous getting on a plane. First of all, I don't like to fly. I fly because I want to go places, so I deal with it a lot better these days. That's another stepping out my comfort zone, is getting on planes to fly, because I'm so scared of heights, and I don't like roller coasters, and I don't like anything of that nature. So a plane definitely wasn't my cup of tea. But these days, after doing it, because I want to go places, I was never gonna not get on the plane because I was scared at this point. And I think that is because I missed out on a great opportunity when I was younger. My uncle was stationed in Hawaii when I was a young girl, and he used to always tell me that whenever you want to come visit me, I will send for you, and you can come and be here in Hawaii. So of course I knew about Hawaii, and I knew it was beautiful, and I definitely wanted to go. But I'm just like, excuse me, like, you want me to get on a plane, and how long is the flight? And he told me that. I said, no sir, definitely not doing that. And that would be my first flight. Definitely not doing that. But as I look back now, I wish I would have had that opportunity. I wish I wasn't so scared. I wish that when it was presented to me, I could have been like, okay, yes, I want to come visit, and I want to come to Hawaii, because that probably would have been the best experience. But that didn't happen. But what that did allow me to do as an adult is that I'm not ever going to be fearful to the point where I don't go experience, or I don't travel. So as most people know, I have done some traveling, and I have got to Hawaii, thank you to my hubby. I went to Hawaii for my 42nd birthday, I believe, and it was amazing. It definitely was amazing. I can't wait to get back again. But with all that being said, is that's me. That's an example of me stepping out of my comfort zone. And so with that being said, I went on a solo trip in 2018, and it was one of the best things I could have did, because it opened me up to not be fearful of traveling by myself and having that experience. I went to a natural hair convention in Atlanta, and everything about the trip was really, really great. Only thing was, it was around my birthday, or it was my birthday I was gone for, and I didn't like that. I didn't like being away from my family for my birthday, or my husband. So I said I would never do that again, I don't think. But I know that I definitely would travel solo again. And with that first trip, that gave me the confidence to be able to do it again. where I traveled to Arizona, to Sedona, Arizona, and a couple years ago, and I went on a retreat. And that retreat really helped me to elevate and to start to become the best person I can be that you see today. Just learning, you know, myself, healing, and without that trip, I probably wouldn't be as far in my journey as I am today. So that's another example of, because I took the first trip, that allowed me to be open to taking the second trip by myself. And now that was a 4-hour trip on the plane by myself, a 2-hour drive out of Phoenix, because you have to drive to Sedona, and just being around people that I didn't know, because it was a retreat of women. I knew one person, but it turned out to be a great experience. And that just changed, allow myself to, do things that I necessarily wouldn't do, I had fear of, has caused me to elevate to a level of myself where now have more confidence. Fear is gone. And don't get me wrong, I still fear and have fear because I'm human, but I'm learning to trust God with that, and to be able to, continue on this journey, even with being on this camera right now. And I know I feel and look more comfortable because I'm doing it, and I have been doing it. But goodness, I can't even explain how hard that was for me to start this, because I just did not want to be in front of a camera. I did not want to, be on social media, like on this platform where I'm talking to people and having to expose my life and possibly be judged by others. But at this point, I've been doing it. Had a calling to do it, and it's been helping people. And so with that being said, I'm going to continue, and I hope that this platform continues to grow and continues to reach the people it needs to reach. But that, just an example of me, getting out my own way, getting out of my comfort zone, and doing things I've never done. And I could talk about this all day, about how doing those things, which I have talked about before, on other lives, which if you haven't seen them, go back and watch, because it's some good stuff. It's some great stories that's been told. But all of it really falls under this me learning who I am, making changes, growing, elevation to become the person that God told me I should be, or who he made me to be. And growth continues through your life. You don't get to a point where you just like, oh, I made it, it's over, I don't have to do this work anymore. No, it doesn't stop. As long as you breathe, as long as you have air in your lungs, and you're going to continue to do the work. Every day you should be changing and growing and aspiring, to do so. So I still have 4 people on here, and I know Linda, Mia, my husband, I think somebody just joined us. Can you say hi in the chat for me? But so yeah, and if you was on here last week, you know that I went for a little while. I was on for almost an hour. I think it was like 55 minutes. So I talked about a lot of things. I had a lot to talk about, and I didn't even realize that it was going that long until I had looked back at it. Once I was done, I was like, oh goodness. But anyway, I appreciate everyone that joins me every week, all the support. I'm just so thankful to be able to do this. I'm in a position where I can, share my story. I've had the experiences, and on this journey that I'm on right now, I'm just so thankful. Yeah, it do. And I can't wait to get to a point where I have more people coming in, and that, the conversation will, be able to continue through the chat and with everybody else outside of just me speaking. But I know that will come. And like I was telling Mia today, and I've said it before, I'm definitely going to have more people on where we can have conversations together. They can tell their stories, because it's not just about me. Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody has, overcome, and everybody um, life is different, but we all can resonate. And, you know, we have similarities and we've been through some similar things that we can touch on and know that we're not alone on this journey in life. So with that being said, I thank you all for being here this evening. I'm gonna you know, be done now. But really, really excited about the future. I'm really excited about what is to come and some of the things that I'm gonna be doing. So you all just stay tuned. And I definitely will um continue to post on creations, not creations by Cree is my hair page, which if you don't follow me over there, please go follow Creations by Cree. That's on Instagram and on Facebook. If you haven't received a service, feel free to come and book an appointment. I'm still accepting new clients. Natural hair is my focus in healing. But also the Conversations with Cree Instagram page. I'm really trying to be, you know, get more followers on there. I post inspirational quotes. I post videos from my lives. So if you are not following me on that platform, please do so. And I will continue to do what I'm doing. And I'm so excited to be doing it. So make sure you all join me next week on Monday, same time and same place. I will see you all. Y'all have a good evening. Bye.